Hey, everybody. Guess what? I have Lauren Welkie back with me. We could not stop talking. There are so many amazing talents that she has. And this is part two of my time with Lauren. Lauren, let's reintroduce yourself really quickly, and then let's launch into the amazing things we want to present to the listeners.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me back. Again, my name is Lauren Welkie. I work in strategic partnerships at ZipRecruiter, and I'm so excited to be here today again.
Great. Thank you, Lauren. I'm excited to have you. So Lauren has so many tips, yes, from the resume perspective, yes, from the interview perspective, but here's something that I've brought up in previous episodes, and that is maintaining confidence in how we present ourselves and the words that we use to present ourselves. So Lauren, you had such a perfect example. Let's unpack that example here for the listener so that they can also get in tune with how important confidence is, not just from a job seeker perspective, but from a business development perspective, an elevator pitch perspective, just who we are.
Yeah, I mean, believing in yourself, as cliche as it sounds, I think it's so important. And if you don't believe in yourself, it's really hard to get others to do it and to ask them to invest that in you. And so I think it really starts within. The example, Francesca, the one we're talking about is with
the woman who you were going through her cover letter, and she had all of these, shall I say, uncertain terms in there.
There we go.
That made her appear. So go ahead. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I was working with this woman who had an excellent history. I was helping her edit her cover letter. And she had a great work history, and she just had a hard time verbalizing it. Even though there was no doubt in her mind or mine that like she was awesome. And so she used words like, I believe I'm the right candidate for the role, or this could be a good fit. And I was like, here I am with this, experienced 55-year-old controller woman that has this controller background. And I'm like, no, you need to say, I am the right fit. For these reasons, I'm confident I am the person for the role. People think that maybe that doesn't matter because it's small things here and there, but it starts in the cover letter, but it ends with how you talk to yourself. People really pay attention. And if you're timid or, they'll pick up on it. So I catch myself all the time. I'm certainly not perfect, but I'll write an email saying, please, could you, might you, and then I'm like, no, this is just a normal ask. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to cut this down, make this more efficient, and talk with my voice, which is confident. And so I think sometimes women struggle a little more with this because we tend to want to be polite and not inconvenience people, but it's so important. And I see people all the time, friends, when I help them, I in my free time, I do like to help my friends if they're looking for new jobs or with their cover letters, with their resumes, interview prep. And, I watch them set ceilings for themselves because they're afraid to ask for that, to counter or to negotiate or to talk about negotiating their salary or stock options or, working from home one more day a week. And I'm like, this is what you're going to be living for the next, God knows how long, couple years. Like, you better command it, because if not, they'll take you on a ride.
Take advantage. Right. I love how you said a few moments ago, it not only is what you're telling other people, but these things that you tell yourself. Your mind believes that you're not capable and not confident. So somehow either it's going to come out verbally, or as you're helping and guiding people so that they have the proper written word. And I also believe that this is not just for job seekers. This is how we present ourselves and how we can be our most confident selves in asking. It's not cocky and it's not arrogant to ask for what you want. The way you say it might be like, it's just being mindful and saying, yes, I do work from home 2 days a week, or I don't know, you tell me how we would say that. How would someone ask for that?
Well, I mean, I had a friend the other day get an offer, and it was, I think they wanted her to be in the office, every day. And she was kind of like, well, I have another offer on the table that's only, that's fully remote, or maybe you'd kind of decide what you want. And if they don't, if they don't want that, then it's like, well, okay, like it's not necessarily calling bluff. She has other offers. So you can say like, oh, well, I have this other offer and I really do, they're letting me work from home fully remote. I'd be able to, commit to 1 day a week in the office and 4 fully remote. I can let you know that I'm super efficient from home. It works the best, whatever.
Right.
But if that's what you really want and it's a no-brainer for you, like don't settle just to get something else. Like I think it's important to command it. And I think there's a lot of respect there too. And sometimes it'll
I
start
agree.
this back and forth conversation, but at the end of the day, it's the job you're going to be living with and you're going to be working. So if you're willing to flex on that, like what else will you flex on? They might think. So I think it sets a good tone. And I think there's a lot of, commanding respect in there too.
I love that so much. It sets a great tone
Mhm.
for what they can expect of you, that you're setting boundaries, that this is
Yeah.
what I do.
But I
Right.
mean, it's certainly uncomfortable and it's going to feel that way. Like that's normal. It feels advocating for yourself isn't exactly easy. It sometimes feels inconvenient because I used to be somebody who was like a sorry person, a sorry person if nothing, even if I didn't do anything that warranting a sorry. And I see it in other people now and I'm like, oh gosh, like I used to do that all the time and it weakened me. And so now I try to do the opposite and say like, I'll say like, thank you for your patience, or I appreciate your whatever. I appreciate in advance if I'm asking somebody for a favor or something. But I think it's really important to do and get used to doing it because it's really only going to help you kind of climb the rungs of the ladder that's going to lead you to the place in your career that you want to be.
I agree. I do hear and see that a lot. I'm sorry, you're bumping into people at the grocery store. You can just say, excuse me.
Mhm.
And yes, thank you for understanding. Thank you for your patience, are terms for us to get used to writing.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to do that this morning. I needed to reschedule a time. And rather than say, I'm sorry, and sorry, this is
Yeah.
inconvenience, I say, I have a conflict.
Mhm.
Thank you for your understanding. Here's when
Right.
I'm available. And I really think that does help set a precedent of, okay, this is what we have to work with. And there's nothing cocky about that. It's just being confident. These are the words we need to get comfortable with, right? Confidence in who we are, what we're asking for, and just, embracing that feeling.
100%. I think it's one of the most important things, especially if you're working remote or starting remote like me. Like you kind of you have to do what you can to build this brand and make sure you're commanding the respect that you deserve. Because if you're one of those people that's saying sorry or using terms that weaken you, like I believe, or I could, I feel that this could do this, like, no, just whatever you're going to say, own it, commit to it. If it's coming out of your mouth, make sure it's bold is kind of how I
I
feel.
love it. What a
Yeah.
great way to wrap this up. Lauren, thank you again so much for your time. You have such incredible tips, and I trust this will help a lot of people out there today. So thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.